I bet it's a cobra.
Oh, okay, cobra. Hi.
Peekaboo. Where's Roo? I see you. There you are. Oh man, it has been a while, like a year, I think, since I've done like any updates. I haven't disappeared or anything else, but let's go what I got working on right now. All right, let's go. I disappeared for a while because I'm finishing up my PhD. I graduate, right? Hopefully. I graduate in April and I just been busy. So I went back up to the farm. We have flowering and we have massive flowering. Our flowering time zone is like, time frame is like February to May. And we have lots of flowers going on right now. We also have a lot of work to do. I did see one plant that had Cymbidium mosaic virus, or just a mosaic virus, but the most common one in vanilla is Cymbidium. And then I'm working on Nursery, because one of the big things that I learned is that globally there isn't really a great producer of cuttings. So I spent a lot of time on my channel. You know, it's my number one video. Like, number one video is vanilla propagation, because if I can teach how to propagate, then you guys can exponentially grow your own crops and harvest. And then over, like, I don't know, 5 years, 10 years, you can actually get something that resembles commercial production. It really does take that long. There's no way to speed it up, but I can give you at least a little bit of hints and tips and tricks. But if you figure that your average, like, 1 hectare vanilla thing can do like 5,000 plants of like 2 meter by 1 meter spacing, that's a lot. And then including all the new ways to do poles, which I'll show and talk about in the video about trellising. So if you like what you see, give me a like, subscribe, comment down below, ask me any questions, and together we can grow. You're just pretty much destroying the flower to pollinate and make a yummy vanilla bean. Easy pollination. I'm taking my iPhone little thing, because any type of toothpick would work too, or like a piece of grass. This one isn't fully opened yet, so you just pull it back like this. It's okay to do this, these don't mean anything. But right inside here is what you're gonna pollinate. So you just rip it back out. You take this and flip it up, and then gently push down. And that should be a vanilla bean. Now we only have to do it like 1,000 more times. So let's do it on this one. So you just pull this away. You don't want to rip it off, but it's not necessary as the ants are like swarming. And this wasn't in full bloom. Normally you're going to destroy this. So you just pull it all back, and you use this part just to flip it up. And then you just lightly squish down. And that should be a pollination, as I like butcher it. Well, we'll test it. It's not in like the big full bloom as it should be, but that's like a simple pollination, just like a simple little iPhone thing that everybody has. That's like the easiest thing. If not, just like a toothpick will work. Let's see this one. This one maybe opened up before. I wish I could remember all the names for what it is, like the pistil or whatever it is. But normally you would stick like your like toothpick in like that, and then pull it across, because you can see all the pollen. But you're just trying to get this out of the way. And this is why you can't self-pollinate, like it can't be self-pollinated, is because it can't reach itself. So you as the human have to go in there and press it. And then you'd imagine doing that each time on here. So maybe it'll work, I don't know, but at least we'll try, we'll see. And if it gets like really fat later on, it'll start turning into like a little green bean. So this one hasn't opened, but I really don't want to miss the opportunity to show it as the ants swarm me. Hashtag 100% organic, right? Obviously I'm not spraying. So normally you just pull this flower out, and then right there, you just flip it up like that, and then mash down, gently mash down. And that should pollinate. I should probably have a system to like mark what it is, so you don't over pollinate your vanilla. So right in there, just pull it off. These don't matter or anything else. You're just trying to get access. And normally when it like fully blooms, it'll be much easier to get at it. But that's all you're doing, just flipping it up and then just pollinating it right back down, and then squish. then hopefully it sticks pretty well. But yeah, we're about to have good flowering soon. That's pretty much it. It's like really easy to pollinate, but the hard part is that you have to do it to all the plants in the time, but you can't do it all at once. If you pollinated this whole raceme, I think is what they call it, that you would just kill the plant because you put too much stress, because you have one here, one there, one over there, and I think there's some other ones on the other side. So if you pollinate it all, it puts too much stress on it. So, you know, it would just be a lot of stress on this one. This is actually a pretty big plant. But yeah, just a simple little iPhone thing. That's all you need. It's easy to keep clean, sterile. But if you don't have this, just a piece of tie wire or a toothpick, or even like a piece of stick, just something just so you can flip it up and then mash it all together. So I mean, this one looks good. I mean, it just wasn't blooming. You really want it to bloom, and then you cut out the flower. So I got my brother-in-law involved. He finally got some cuttings for me after like they produce flowers. So that's like a good sign. So you can continue watching the channel. Give me a like, subscribe, comment down below, ask me any questions, and together we can grow. So he asked me, what happens when you get like stalks that get like this, where they have this black part? Is it detrimental to the plant? Now, not normally, because our SOP is to go up 2 meters, 6 feet, and then down back in the ground. So it gives you kind of a redundancy. So every time it grows up, it goes back down in the ground. And that's what makes these nice root balls. It's not as big as the other ones, but they penetrate the ground. But here, you're just gonna kind of feel it. And if it feels mushy, right? If it's like mushy, you just snip right here and here. And because you have so many growth points, it's just gonna grow another vine here and there. So you're not really affecting the plant, but this is very common too. And I would assume it's higher at elevation. We're at like 600 meters, but I don't notice much disease here other than some of the spots that you're gonna get. And these things are about like 5 years old. So they're gonna like come and go as the season goes out. Right now we're on our summer. So yeah, there's not a lot. But this one, if I wanted to fix it, just snip and then take it out. If you see bad, cut it out. All right, so we're looking at like plants. This one, I would say, is probably like 20 meters. It's just so dense, as you can see. We wrapped it up with packing twine and everything. But if you come look over here at the bottom, and this is gonna be very common of any plant that you grow, whether it's like a pepper, a lettuce, or whatever, anything that gets close to the ground or to other parts, it will create like, it'll get unhappy and create these little black spots. And vanilla for sure has it, where you can see where the rain splashes up, and that splash up will cause it to get bacterial from the ground and the soil onto your plant. And the only real way to do that, to fix it, is to chop it out. And I know it's like, oh, you're hurting the plant, but if you don't cut it out, the whole plant could become infected and then it'll die. Here's some parts here where it's starting to get a little bit. You can fix that through nutrition and watering, but you don't want to water too much. So one of the big things that we like to do, and do pretty regularly, is we come in here, and whenever we let it touch the ground, you don't want the leaf to touch the ground, you just cut out your leaves that are touching the ground as it loops. So then you don't have any of that issue, and just go around each one and give them a little haircut. That can actually like not get splashed on, because any chance that there's a wound, it can actually create more of a problem. So you just let that happen as long as it's dry. Then you let the part right here dry up, normally about a day. Then you can go back to regular watering. But yeah, you can see it's already not happy because it's touching the ground. So I just cut it all out. And you can see that like right here, it's not happy. So you just cut it out, and then now you're gonna create this nice stable root base at the bottom. So we always like want to know whether we have mosaic virus, whether like Cymbidium or any other type of mosaic virus. You really don't know unless you get like testings from the lab, or you do like your home test. I think you can order them online and ship it anywhere in the world. But this is a good example of what mosaic virus does to your plant. It gets that weird hook shape where it looks really, I'm not going to touch it because I'm touching other plants. and then it just eats the plant alive. What's amazing is the plants around it, due to our spacing method, aren't affected, which is 2 meters this way, right? 2 meters, and then 1 meter in row. So it's 1 meter, 1 meter, 1 meter, and then 2 meters. But yeah, this is a great example of Cymbidium mosaic. What you do, you don't try to save it, you don't spray it, you're just wasting your money. Just chop it up and burn it, bury it, and get it out of here. But this is a classic Cymbidium. It makes that nice J hook, and then they hook around and they get very, 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 very slender. So that's a great example of Cymbidium. So out of the whole 160 plants that we started for a test batch, only one really got Cymbidium mosaic virus, which is good because we have a lot of ants rolling around out here, and we're not spraying. It's really 100% organic for the process, minus of course some synthetic fertilizers here or there that we just can't replicate with organic process. Up here, this is what happens when you see like bad, and you just don't worry about it because it's not going to do anything. You just chop it out. When your plant looks bad, you just chop it out and get rid of it, because the plant's going to spend time trying to take care of itself. Just cut it out, move on, and then it'll take care of it, because the rest of the plant looks really healthy, and the tip looks really nice. Because I mean, a good vanilla one, you can see the striations inside of it. Like the striations are really good in that sunlight, trying to capture the sunlight and bring it in. That's a really healthy vanilla. Right there, you can see the striations that it makes. So when it does that, that's a healthy plant. But you can start to see a little bit here, and there. And if you want to keep it organic, you just do like copper sulfate will work. It looks like blue crystals and everything. Not those blue crystals, but the actual nice blue crystals. This isn't Breaking Bad or anything, but you just spray like maybe like 10 grams per like liter of water or something, maybe 1 gram to 10, and then fill up like a whole backpack full and just give it a spray. And that would qualify for organic fungicide. But yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, it looks like it works pretty good overall. Vanilla is getting sunburn over here. I don't know how well you can see it, but walk with me over here. So this isn't an unhealthy vanilla plant. As you can see, it's probably like maybe like 20-30 meters of vines with about maybe like 3 to 5 centimeters of thickness, like the size of my thumb. But this is vanilla getting too much sun on one side, and then down here where your plant's telling you, yo, I'm not happy where I'm at completely, but the other side of it is very happy. It's very green and very lush. You can just feel the leaves and everything. So we're trying, like the whole test is, do you need a shade structure to grow really good vanilla? Because I know in Indonesia, they grow it in the open, but I went and took a trip, and the weather's completely different than the weather we get here. Here, I bet you it's probably like 30 C today, and it's not even the full summer. So we're at 600 meters elevation, and we're in like the heart of like prime agricultural region. So that might be a little too hot. 24 C to probably 28, that's probably like your ideal. So I'm still gonna try to push, but I am gonna get these guys under a simple little 70% shade net, but stretched out, so it becomes like 50% shade net, because it's easier just to pull it out, because I still want the rays of the sun just to come penetrate. Because really, right here just needs a shade wall, just so this side doesn't get blasted in the afternoon. But I blame the rambutan trees. So when you think about structuring your like vanilla place, if you grow other natural things in between, like hey, a fruit crop like say cacao. Cacao is not a great example because it doesn't like sun either. But if you think about how you design your farm, you can think, all right, I'm going to do vanilla here, and then I'm going to do orchard here, and then vanilla, and then orchard, and that can be like an intercropped type of thing. But yeah, even here at about 30 C, 600 meters sea level, it's actually doing pretty good. Minimal protesting, very minimal shading with just local bamboo Kauaian type. But these things look really good, and we're about ready to hit our major flowering season. All right, So when we talk about like flowering season, I had a guy come out from Los Baños up in Luzon about like a year ago. I need to reach out to him again and let him know we got flowers. But one of the things we talked about is like propagation and how to propagate and be efficient at the same time. So one of the easy ways that I was making a very big mistake, and I think we've all done it, is we just tip right here, which can be a cutting, like just, you know, 1 node, 2 node, 3 node cutting. You can do that, 4 node. But what I actually found was a better way, and that's take a full meter long cutting. So you just measure it out and then cut right at that node. I'll cut like right in there. So now I have my cutting that was from a starting vine, and then what I can do is I can now prune it from the top. You just snap it down like that, snap that off, and then you just cut right here. I like doing this method still. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then this, make sure you don't cut that little nodule, and then you just cut it off. You can tear these off, you can do whatever. And then as you can see, now I have something that can go right into a pot just like that. I have 1, 2, 3 after I do like a copper fungicide type thing, and then now I have a new strong cutting that within 18 months can look like this. Now be careful, this stuff is sticky, it's all over my hands, it'll burn you. The bigger that they get, it'll cause like burns. I like wipe it off on myself, but it can be kind of corrosive. It's one of the downsides of vanilla. My skin will probably turn red. You'll know, but yeah, this is an easy way. This also will trigger flowering, because once you induce stress, that's the cycle of the plant. So when it gets big like this, instead of just taking small cuttings and called tipping, right? That's the term, tipping. You can just make actual cuttings. So you have lots of more cuttings that can actually work for you in the future, and then do that year after year after year, and that's how you'll get 10,000 cuttings per hectare. Sweet. All right, so in our method, we did about 7 foot, 8 foot poles of bamboo, about 4 inches, or maybe like 10 centimeters, 15 centimeters thick. But as you can see, vanilla is very heavy as I move and sway both of these things. So it's gonna get very, very heavy. So if you can, you should probably use fence posting like right over there. So pan over there. And then out there you use fence posting. And the method that I think I'm gonna transfer into, if I can afford it, is we're going to use motorcycle tire and then do it like dragon fruit versus doing the bamboo, because the bamboo doesn't hold up that long. And as you can see, when it gets really heavy, you've invested all this time into making a really big plant. It has to last at least 9 months, because that's how long it's going to take to grow one vanilla bean. So what I think we'll do is we'll readdress that as we continue to grow these. Hopefully, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, just be careful with your methods, because yeah, these guys are super wobbly as they get heavy. Back here has always been the nursery, but there's some good training points. I did end up losing a couple things because I've been pretty busy and our weather's been actually really wet for the past year. Even it's already March 2026, so our weather has changed. So we got some good learning points to go over. So this is most likely a fungal infection into the vine. You can see that even the main root into the soil has actually started to decay. Now it's not detrimental. We can most likely save this one by chopping right here, and I'm going to turn this into cuttings. It's still a very healthy vine, and that still has some growth, and it has new growth right there, so it is happy. So we can change as I jerk the camera around, but you can see that it was not happy. The reason that it wasn't happy is because it was growing up onto the barbed wire and the fence, and this is why I like using a guide wire and really doing that. But we'll go into that later when I show and splice in some of the farm images and kind of some new ways to do anything. Other than that, I'm just prepping bags. This is just Osmocote Triple 14 slow release. I must enhance that slow release. Do not get the other stuff. And this one just needs a little bit of love and care because it needs, whenever you see your roots exposed, you need to cover it, and cover it with cocoa peat and its basic things. This one ended up dying, or I ended up chopping it all out because they would grow all the way up into there and then back down, and that just became unmanageable as I jerked the camera around. Not the best one. So this is ones that have lasted. I did 9 boxes of these. This is kind of the normal setup. This is after I already threw out them. I would say we're looking at about a 50-60% success rate. Just looking at the numbers really quick, that it's like 56. So if you do like a 3-node cutting, you get about a 50% success rate. And then over here I have my true mother vine. If anyone remembers from videos before, I actually chopped it out because it was unhealthy, but I was able to salvage some cuttings. There's some yellowing, but that just could be due to temperature fluctuation and whatnot. So these are going to end up going to the farm and replace some of these other poles so I can track 12 node cuttings. So I did 12 node cuttings here, and then I'm just prepping the soil with Osmocote and everything else. You just have to watch my channel. Give me a like, subscribe, a share, comment down below, ask me any questions, follow me, then you can definitely grow anything.